our existence, Archana Gupta, who's a group head, patient experience, Pan India, CK Birla Hospital, Trust Hospitals. WEF is conferring the Exceptional Leader of Excellence Award on Archana Gupta. Archana Gupta, it's good to have you on us on this session, and we would love to hear from you. Over to Archana Gupta.
Hi, thanks to Kanya, and I thank Harbeen and the WEF, All Ladies League, to give me the platform to talk about my favorite topic, 7 layers of existence. Well, aren't you surprised that we do have 7 layers and not just of body physical level only to know that we exist? So Kanya, I may make it interactive. Is that okay with you to answer at times? So, please restart again. Okay. Hi, this is Archana here. And I've come here to talk about an interesting topic, 7 layers of existence.
Hi, Archana. Sorry about that. Welcome to the session on WEF. We are very happy to have you at this session to talk about 7 layers of existence. Archana is the group head patient experience with CK Birla Hospitals, Trust Hospitals India. WEF is happy to announce the Exceptional Leader of Excellence Award, a digital award that will be sent to Archana within a fortnight. Thank you and enjoy the session, everybody. Welcome, Archana, to the show.
Thank you, Sukanya, for the lovely welcome. And I thank Harbeen and WEF and All Ladies League to give me this platform to talk about my favorite topic, 7 layers of existence. Well, isn't it surprising that we have 7 layers of existence? How do we know we exist on the primary level? Body, right? If there's no body, we don't exist. But that's known to everyone. There's a subtler layer, which is breath. If we have body but not breathing, do we exist? So breath is an important element of our existence. We take it for granted because it's given to us in abundance and free. We only value it when we have been running or have been got a running nose, that when we are unable to breathe, that's the time we understand how valuable it is for us. It's an important source of energy in our life. It's a subtle life force energy. In normal day-to-day life, we don't even use 70% of our lungs capacity, not even 30% of lung capacity. In our ancient days, the pranayama or the yoga laid a lot of importance on our breathing exercise, only to inhale deeper and exhale deeper, so that we are able to use this powerhouse, the energy house, so-called breath, that we take it for so granted. So a lot of people do a lot of exercises, gymming, but they give least importance to breathing exercises. I would recommend that look into it, because it is a powerful. We can live without food for many days. We can live without sleep also for many days. But for breath, we can't even live for 1 minute. It's that important. You might see that it has a direct connection with our mind. The next layer of existence is our mind. When there's a direct connection between mind and breath, whenever you are sad, or whenever you are very sad and sorrow, your breath pace is also slows. It slows down. Whenever you are angry or enthusiastic, your breath also moves fast. Have you ever seen that? So there is a direct link. And if there's a link between the mental state to our breath, not many people know, by working on breath, you can actually work on state of mind. Mental well-being has been a topic, especially in these pandemic years. This last 2 years, we've seen many cases who have been at home, working from home, have been going through a lot, and mental well-being has become a big need of the hour. And a lot of people are doing counseling, but that's not enough. Even paying attention to breath helps in improving a state of mind. See, mind is a faculty through which we perceive things around us. But when you go subtler to that is our intellect. Intellect takes decision based on whatever you perceive from mind. Intellect tells you whether you should go for it or no. Yes, yes, no, no. You see that? Every time there's this dialogue parallel, even when I'm talking to you all, in your mind, there's intellect is always churning. Yes, yes, no, no. Yes, yes, no, no. What do we see generally yes to? We say yes to only things, if you really ponder upon, the things that we have known before, that we've heard about. And we say no to ones which is absolutely revolutionary or different, what you've never heard before. We don't even give them a visa to enter into our system. The intellect is working. The scientists, whenever the new discoveries have happened, they have to transcend this intellect. Intellect is required to take decisions, but working on only internet is not enough, right? One has to transcend, one has to go beyond the intellect, accept something new. Then only discoveries will happen. Intellect also works based on the memory powerhouse. What is memory? Memory is a stored house of previous experiences. Whatever experiences that you had, it is a faculty which helps us not to put our finger into fire because we remembered we burnt our finger last time. It is a memory which helps us to understand that if we walk over the cliff edge, we will fall down. Maybe sometime we had fallen down. But this faculty also needs to be used judiciously. Too much of dwelling on the past experiences, what will happen? It's like driving a car by looking at the rear view mirror all the time. Accident may happen. So think about it. How are we using this faculty all the time? Are we going back to the past all the time? Are we dwelling on the past, or are we just learning from the past or out and moving ahead? This life is too short to be stuck in the past or be anxious about the future and forgetting about the present. So I have spoken about 4 layers thus far: body, breath, mind, intellect. In fact, 5th faculty is memory. And the 6th matter, so 6th element, the 6th layer of existence is ego. Now, everybody thinks ego is bad. It's not bad. Ego is a faculty, is a reason for us to exist. It is that drive which helps us to move ahead. Are you able to hear me now? It is that drive which helps us to move ahead. If there is no ego, we will not move ahead and do things for ourselves. The problem lies when we think too much about ourselves. Ego, when expanded, which means when we embrace everyone around us as our own, gives us balance. But ego, when constricted, when we only think about me, myself, or my family, that's where the rigidness, that's where the unnaturalness, everything comes in and leads to stress. It affects every other layer. The way we think about ourselves, we're using the mind faculty, the intellect taking the decisions, even the breath gets affected if we are too much on ourselves. Ego doesn't mean only superlative that I am great, I'm intelligent. I am not great, I am a fool is also an ego. I am equal to others, I belong to everyone is an expanded ego. You're not just limited to yourself. When you're able to work on all the other 6 layers, that's when you get established in yourself. And that is the last layer of our existence. Only when the ego drops, that's where you can be established. So what is the 7 layers of existence? Body. We have to pay attention to our body. A physical activity is important for this body to be tuned and be fit. That will affect the body, also takes in food. The food that we eat affects the mind. So body is the most grossest level of existence, followed by breath, important powerhouse. Not many people understand the importance of breath and work on it, followed by mind, which is at a subtler level, followed by intellect, memory, and then ego. And when all these 6 layers are used in balance, that's when we get established in self. So Sukanya, any questions by the audience thus far, if you'd like to take, because we don't have much time left. Any questions, Sukanya?
No, I think you can carry on.
If you have any questions, you can ask also, because I kind of summarized everything in shortage of time. I've summarized everything in 7 layers. If you have any queries on this, would love to have.
So how do you think we could balance these layers?
Wonderful question. Balance, body, as I said, fitness is required. Body, it's like, buying a vehicle, a car, and just keeping it standing at your garage. The car will go waste and car will not function after some time. The car has to be driven, has to be moved. Similarly, our body needs to be driven, needs to do exercise to be functional properly. And the biggest storehouse is the breath. Breathing helps. As I said, there's a direct link between breath and the mind. If you want to improve on your mind, from a realm of mind is very difficult. But if you work on breath, it's easier. It's a tool. Not many people know about it. We've always heard people saying, control your anger, don't take stress, but they haven't spoken to us or taught us how to do that. And very few people know that the breath is a medium to work on our mind. And with little knowledge about, how to intellect, are we open to new things? Are we saying no to anything that we have not known in the past? Intellect, be open to new things. Manan bolte, in Sanskrit they say manan. You receive and then you manan, you introspect. One has to use that faculty. Memory has to be used judiciously. Of course, it is a faculty to be used, but don't dwell on the past all the time. Ego, expand your ego, and that's when you get to know yourself.
Thank you so much. So would you recommend moderation in everything that we do? To get
moderation with knowledge, when I say moderation, doesn't mean breathing. The more we inhale, the better. The lung capacity should be used to the maximum to be able to get the energy. So there's no moderation there. But with the knowledge, you'll understand. So, intellect, of course, you have to use it all the time. But are we stopping ourselves? This is knowledge. The knowledge only helps us to know what are we using, how are we using it.
Thank you so much, Archana. That was a wonderful session, even though too short to delve into this vast topic.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you so much, Sukanya. Thank you. It was lovely speaking to this World Global Digits Summit. I hope I'm reaching out. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Still 5 minutes is there?
2 more minutes. If you have anything to add.
Well, so I would only like to add is that breathing, I've been into breathing exercises while I'm into hospitals. I see a lot of patients. They come here when the damage is done. Believe me, the earlier we start learning these ancient practices that India is rich about, the pranayama, the yoga, we are able to postpone our visits to doctor and hospitals. I see young people coming admitted into hospital, and for small things, they lose their balance. I'm a big advocate. While I'm attached to a hospital, I'm a big advocate of Ayurveda, I'm a big advocate of yoga, which is now becoming world talking topic. Everyone's recognizing the importance. I've only picked up a topic from there where speaks about our 7 layers of existence and all the layers that we worked upon. When I say self also means you go beyond. I mean, go beyond ego, which means you look after everyone around you. The larger the expanded the ego, the belongingness, you automatically feel comfortable. That's how it is.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. See you again, Sukanya. Thank you.